Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Grady, that's G-R-A-D-Y, and today we're going to be talking about our top 10 video game soundtracks. Because I'm 12, my top 5 soundtracks are going to be different from my dad's because he's like 100 or something.
That's funny, yeah. I'm not that old.
This list is going to combine his top 5 and my top 5 from any console game. We're going for the best overall music experience.
Yep, you got that right.
There are, however, 4 prime directives that we must follow because there's 1,000 of these best of soundtracks of all time, so we want to make sure ours is different than the others.
So the first rule, it has to be in-game, cannot be cinematics. So many games now focus on intricate melodies and huge symphonies in between gameplay. But for this list, we want the steak, not the sizzle. Gameplay music only.
Rule number 2 is it cannot be a game that already has music that's been created. So we're talking things like Dance Dance Revolution, Guitar Hero. It cannot be a game that already has music that's been created, like actual music, because that would just be cheating.
So the third rule we made, this also applies to you, Dad. It cannot be started in the arcades. Cannot be an arcade game.
Yeah, so that basically rules out Street Fighter II and the Neo Geo console using any one of the Metal Slug games. So, yeah, that's tough for me. That's brutal, but that's fair. I understand that. But I'm going to just toss this one back to you. The 4th rule that we're going to go with is it cannot be a movie franchise. That's too easy. So, if it's a movie franchise, like Star Wars, or how about this, James Bond, so you can't just go with any GoldenEye soundtrack, and you can't use TIE Fighter for PC, because I know you love that so much, right?
Never played.
Yeah, well, it's a great game. Be sure to look up that stuff.
Well, I was gonna say Lego Star Wars, but
Nope.
Never mind.
Nope, can't do it. So the footnotes and the hallmarks for the original music are going to be embedded into that, even if it was created for the game, so that's just too easy to use, and it's cheating. So it cannot be a movie franchise.
A good soundtrack, it's going to give us energy, it's going to make us sad sometimes. It's just going to give us gamers like a good response.
Good emotional response. I like the way you stink. I shall start it off. I'm going to go with a relatively unknown game. I think I showed you this game at one point in time. Battle of Olympus, made by Borderbund. Battle of Olympus is a relatively unknown game. It's an excellent game with beautiful soundtrack. It has locations all across ancient Greece. The gameplay is similar to Zelda 2. Because the storyline is not linear, you're going to be traveling back and forth to these ancient Greek locations time and time again. The composers did a good job of making distinct soundtracks that coincide with each one of these locations so that you could quickly ascertain where you are just by the sound of the background. And each one of the stage sounds, they're phenomenal. They have great beats. There's never really a quiet or a humdrum level. They all are excellent. It's an unknown game that's out there that everybody who owns an NES should be playing.
For my 5th pick, I chose Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 is a multiplayer game, but the music is really fast-paced, kind of like rock music, and it really doesn't make you fall asleep like the new games where it's all orchestrated and all that stuff.
Okay, so quick beats. It's got quick beats. Actually, I heard some of the audio that you pointed out on that game. It's got a bunch of funny little character sounds too, right?
Yeah.
The characters in game, they don't speak English, right?
They don't speak English.
They speak like their own tongue, we'll call it, right?
Yeah, they're
gibberish. They sound like gibberish. Right?
They're basically all squids that are kind of like humans too, so it sounds like squids trying to speak English.
Is that what they are? They're squids?
Yeah. I guess it's not always following that big tempo music. Maybe if you're just in the lobby of the game, there's not that much high tempo music. It's kind of just maybe a 2 on the tempo, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, because you're doing sequels and you're going with Splatoon 3, I'm going to pull out a sequel as well. This is one of the best games for the old school PC, which eventually ported down to console. I'm going with Warcraft II. Warcraft 2 is an excellent strategy-based game, overhead view. If you haven't heard of Warcraft or World of Warcraft by now, go ahead and crawl out from the rock that you've been living under for the last 30 years. It's been around for a long time. This is nothing new.
Was it fast-paced or was it slow-paced?
It was actually a little bit of both. You'd get some highs and you'd get some lows, but they all sounded like a great mix. So go ahead and take any strategy-based game. It could be Diablo, it could be StarCraft, whatever you want. It could be Animal Crossing for all I care. Go ahead and put Warcraft 2 music in the background of it, and it sounds amazing. They're very simple beats that are thrown into this game, and they lend themselves very easy to hum to. Basically, great for anybody out there, any gamers that might have a little bit of OCD, which we do.
My pick for number 4 is from the Super Nintendo, Super Metroid.
Yes. I'm gonna have to give a slow clap to that. Slow clap to that. Because, wow, my son chose a Super Nintendo game for his top 5 list. I love it!
Yeah, you could say I'm a bit of a fan.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Super Metroid has a very great soundtrack. From the beginning of the game to the very end, it's constantly giving you high music that's very fast-paced, very beautiful. But sometimes it's very slow-paced, or it'll be very intense music that'll make you really start to get stressed out. You may like Brinstar, you may like the spaceship, but my personal favorite is Lower Norfair.
Ooh, so good, so good.
It's definitely really immersive music, and it definitely really makes you feel like you're isolated and alone on an alien space planet.
Okay, so I guess this is probably the time to bring up, where we're talking about my third pick, that we decided there was only going to be one choice per franchise. We had to put a Mario in there, and I am going to be the one to do it. I'm going to choose out of all the Marios, whether they came out on the Switch or whether they were for the NES, I still think the most eclectic mix of music comes from Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo system.
That's a pretty good soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Super Mario World had layers of music in it that were the acoustic equivalent to what you were seeing on screen, with the scrolling backgrounds, the rich colors of Super Mario World. Being one of the first games for the system, when you were there and you were alive to witness it right there for the first time, it was amazing. And the music for Super Mario World did not disappoint.
For my number 3 pick,
Number 3.
I chose Minecraft. If you haven't heard of it, you've been living under a rock since 2011.
Hey, that's what I said! You stole my thing!
So Minecraft is a game where you mine mostly, and you also Minecraft. I bet you didn't know that, but...
I think most people know what Minecraft is.
Yes. Minecraft music is really slow-paced and methodical, and it really is just the perfect music for any farming game. Like, if you just copy and paste the music into another farming game, it would seem like it would fit perfectly right in.
Yeah, that's a good pick for number 3. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say future videos that we do about soundtracks, you're probably going to include Minecraft in every one of those lists, aren't you? You play a lot of Minecraft, do you?
Definitely not. No.
This kid. All right.
So what's your number 2?
Okay, moving into my number 2 spot. Well, there's nothing more moody than Castlevania music. But out of all the games in the franchise, I have to pick one. I'm gonna go with Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the PlayStation. Way back in the day, PlayStation. Symphony of the Night perfects what the rest of the Castlevania series sounded like. Like, you're gonna hear synthesizers, you're gonna hear drums, you're gonna be hearing organs, electric guitars. It's a little bit of Meatloaf meets a little bit of Metallica. It is all sorts of mix, and it is awesome, and it certainly makes the game what it is. Okay, so now back over to you. I saw what you put on your list for number 2, and I am glad to see it that one of us did it. If you didn't do it, I was gonna have to do it. Let's hear it.
Number 2 for my pick from the N64, Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda.
The best. Oh my gosh. It's sad that it only hit number 2. You must have really liked the game more than that.
Yeah.
I liked the game more than that, but Ocarina of Time, great choice.
Because I could only pick one of each franchise, and I only can pick one from the Zelda franchise, I had to commit to one that committed to very good music. Ocarina of Time, the second you start it up, it starts playing this beautiful song, and then it's not like songs that'll make you like fall asleep. For example, new games like Subnautica, where it'll start playing these songs that are all orchestrated. You know, it's just not like that always.
So what is your favorite music in the game? I know what I like. What do you like?
My favorite music in the game is the Forest Temple, which is the first temple you go to when you turn into the adult Link.
Okay. So before we get to our number 1 picks, before we do that, let's toss in our honorable mentions. Alright, these are the ones we couldn't quite fit in the list or justify, but a lot of the music in the game means a lot to us and sets emotional response. I'll start first because you're going to end it, your video. I'm going to go with the game not many people played, but had a phenomenal soundtrack. I'm going with MechWarrior 2 for the old PC engine. Yeah, that's right, like Windows 95.
Now, for my honorable mention before I go on to number 1 is, for me, Subnautica Below Zero. The reason this is an honorable mention and is not on the list is it basically does what Minecraft does, but Minecraft really just does it better.
And that is going to take me to my number 1 choice. And it is a game that probably anyone my age, they've been watching this video and just going like, and they've been screaming it at the camera. When is he going to say this game? When is he going to say this game? When is he going to say this game? My choice for number 1 soundtrack of all time for the NES system, Mega Man 2.
That's a pretty good choice. Of course, I've never played it. I've only played the first Mega Man, but I'm pretty sure that's a good choice.
Yeah. Out of the entire franchise of excellent music and fast-paced, high-energy, high-tempo songs, Mega Man 2 does everything right. In fact, it is the epitome of a game that never, ever drops. It is at peak on that crack the entire time. It never stops with tracks from Quick Man, Flash Man, Crash Man, Magnet Man, Heat Man. Every stage is a winner. But But I think the fan favorite that everybody had, in fact, you look it up on YouTube, there's probably 1,000 remixes of it, is Stage 1 Dr. Wily's Castle. If you put Mega Man 2 music on any Nintendo game, it would make it that much cooler.
Okay, for my number one pick that wraps this video up.
Okay, and I told you, don't tell me what it is. I want to hear it. Okay.
Alright.
I think I know what it's going to be, but go ahead.
Alright, so my number one pick of all the video game soundtracks is most definitely Undertale, made by Toby Fox.
Undertale.
Undertale is a game that looks like it was made in 1992, even though it was made in 2015. Toby Fox just really decided he doesn't really like those new realistic graphics. He likes those old pixelated graphics. If you're looking for some really fast-paced music inside that game, right here, let's put on a Bone Trestle. Even though the game looks like it would be a soundtrack that sounds like the soundtrack, they have an entire orchestra playing the soundtrack. And sometimes the soundtrack is 8-bit though, if you're looking for that.
I award you 10 points for Gryffindor on that. That's excellent. I like your list. That's good. I thought I would hate you and want to lock you in the basement and feed you scraps for the rest of your life with your list, but I actually kind of agree with a lot of your choices.
So, how did we do? Do you like the music we chose? Do you think there should be anything else we put on there? Or do you think we put on some bad music that you don't like? Well, of course, it is just like an opinion video, so it's our opinion.
It's our opinion and it's right!
So that was our combined list of top 10 video game soundtracks. If you like this video, I also am going to be doing some more of these video game soundtrack videos. And also, if you want to support the channel, please like and maybe subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, the big 100, because then I can start live streaming and doing some other fun things. We are out of here. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy the start of your summer.